Hey, welcome to the new series that we're doing during these kind of times, which we're kind of calling like the startup kind of tips and or what I was going to call from the front. I'm looking at another screen over here. So what I wanted to share was, again, a little bit about our story. So my co-founder and I have been business partners since we were 17. If you don't know that, that's the truth. And we actually had raised a bunch of money in 2007, 8, and toward the end of 9-ish. And with that money, we thought we were going to change the world and blah, 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 and all this stuff. Anyway, recession hits 2008, 9, and basically by July 2010, we were out of money. And most of our investors at that point were like, hey, this thing is over, whatever. Again, we invested in you, not your idea. It's you guys that failed. And we made a bunch of mistakes in that time frame too, related to how we were operating the business and everything. But we didn't want to, my co-founder and I did not want to be the ones that lost people's money. And a bunch of my entrepreneur buddies, who've actually built, companies and stuff, were like, hey, you have you can just totally walk away. No one expects you to do anything. But I like to talk shit. I didn't want to be one of those people that had to duck because I lost people's money. I was like, we're gonna figure this thing out. So, one of the first things we did was our third co-founder, he resigned, and Daniel and I, who you'll probably meet or you have met through some of these videos or just following our content on LinkedIn, basically we're like, okay, so what are we gonna do? Well, prior to having raised money, we had a dev shop, and we would build websites, do logos, brochures, all this stuff for people. So between 2010 and 2015, we were getting deals for our DevHub software, primarily with big media companies, but the sales cycle was brutal. 2 months, 3 months, 2 years, 3 years. You sign a deal after 14 months and then it's another 10 months to go live. It was just brutal. And, we had went from about 20, 25, 30-ish employees down to like 3. And I'm talking in this video specifically to the potential company and or startup. Again, I always say we're a startup, but only when we get in trouble. The difference is today we make money. So this advice is kind of to my, younger self, even though I'm still the same basically age in my opinion, but just learned a lot more, is that, between 2010 and 2015, and really in a weird way, almost to 2016, getting in the door with clients is so hard. And in tech, we are constantly told recurring revenue, software as a service, predictable revenue, all that stuff. And investors and whatnot who weren't really paying attention to us because, again, in their mind, the money was lost, were like, hey, services are not a company, it's not predictable. But it was like, we kind of came from that background, and at that point, most people weren't listening to us anyway, at least on the shareholder side. So we're like, you know what, screw it, we're gonna keep the lights on. We think there's something with this platform. We don't know exactly what yet. We knew media companies were loving it, but we didn't know what else. So we started, since we were getting in with customers, and trying to talk to them about our software, which is a long sales cycle. In between, anyone that came to us with an app idea, a website idea, a logo, anything, we would build that stuff. And we started doing stuff for like $105,000, $300,000, $500,000 to build Facebook apps, whatever people wanted, because one, it kept money coming in and we had the talent in-house, and two, it kept us, all the money that we would make, we put back into innovating on the platform, i.e. labor in our Seattle offices to work on the DevHub technology. And so I just wanted to throw that out there. It's like, and I honestly, I've been contemplating this prior to this whole situation that we're all in right now, was, I'm gonna say this. I think 20% of every tech company's, and again, I'm blanketing it, but 20%, up to about 20%, and even if it's a little bit higher, who cares? But should be professional service work or managed service work. Nobody likes it. Investors don't like it. But again, investors' job, in my opinion, is money. And again, they can give you intros, they can do a bunch of stuff too. But really, at the end of the day, you're running your company. And so if you think the services help your customers or future customers, or just help your current situation in the current time you're in, I would do them. And I've been thinking about doing that with some of our 150 plus brands, was offering more on the creative side of, doing graphic design stuff, doing full-blown corporate site stuff. But again, we've kind of shied away from it. This whole situation proved that to me. And, starting now, we will start to do that kind of work for our clients. They're not necessarily have to license our software to do that work, but we have the talent in-house, so why not do it? So again, if you're struggling with like, well, we have this tech company, we have, again, if you have recurring revenue, that kind of helps. We'll see how long, it all lasts over the, these coming weeks. But if you can pick up that web dev job or that, database something, I would do it. And that's just, again, that's what got us through the tough times back, 2008, 9, 10. Really 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I just want to throw that out there. If you're thinking about it, you're not alone. I think it's a smart move. And yeah. So these videos will be coming a little bit more frequently because, I think it's more relevant right now than me to tell you, hey, we have the greatest platform in the world. I mean, if you haven't heard that already, I apologize. But again, this is real world. And plus, if you have any questions that you want me to answer about how we got through anything we got through during that recession, please ask me. All right, peace. Thanks for joining.